Hi, everyone. Welcome to Crime Family. I'm your co host, AJ, and I'm here with my two sisters and fellow co hosts, Katie and Lisa. And in today's episode, we are going to be looking at a recent missing persons case that took place or began just over a year ago in February of 2025. And it happened in Mont Tremblant, Quebec, in Canada, and it's the case of Liam Toman. So, what started as a winter ski trip between friends quickly turned into an ongoing search for answers. And the majority of the information on this case comes from the Canadian investigative journalism series, The Fifth Estate. And they did an episode on it that aired in January of 2026. And then additional information comes from the Liam Toman website that was created and also various online articles about the case. But like I said, the majority is from that Fifth Estate episode. We'll put the link to that in the show notes. And I recommend you watch it because it is very informative and very in depth. So Liam Toman was a 22-year-old from Whitby, Ontario, Canada. And in early February 2025, he and two of his friends, Kyle and Colin, made the 5.5-hour drive to Mont Tremblant. And this was for a ski weekend. For those of you who don't know, Mont Tremblant is like a popular ski village and resort in the province of Quebec, Canada. Very popular for locals and for tourists. When Liam and his two friends arrived, they checked into their hotel, La Tour de Voyageur. So they were looking forward to a few days on the mountain. So Liam had even bought a brand new pair of skis and was excited to finally get to use them. So not long before the trip, Liam had graduated from Niagara College with an electronics technician diploma. Friends and family described him as someone who could fix almost any electronic device. He was like a tech wizard. Outside of that, he enjoyed skiing, golfing, playing video games, and spending time with friends and family. And he was known for having a big sense of humor and was often laughing. By all accounts, he was a positive, upbeat guy in his early 20s. So nothing, just your normal guy in his early 20s. So on Saturday, February 1st, the three friends spent the day skiing on the mountain. And then that evening, they grabbed dinner at a pizzeria. And it was like a late dinner, so it was probably around 8 or 9 or so. So then after they had dinner, they headed out to into the resort village for drinks. So their first stop was at a bar called Lucille's, and they stayed there until around 11:30 p.m. And then after that, Colin decided to head back to the hotel to get some sleep. He was tired from the day of skiing. So Liam and Kyle stayed out a little bit longer, and then they eventually made their way to a bar called Central. And then eventually, after that, they went to another nearby bar, Petite Caribou. And this is a well known and popular spot in the village for both visitors and for locals. So they arrived at this last bar around midnight and they continued drinking inside. And then at some point during the night, Liam and Kyle ended up separating inside. And then around 2 a.m., as the bar began to clear out a little bit, Kyle realized that he couldn't find Liam. So he looked around a little bit for him, but couldn't find him. So he ends up sending Liam a text at 2:19 a.m. saying that he was heading back to the hotel. Liam never responded to that text. So Kyle, shortly thereafter, leaves the bar and heads back to the hotel. And the hotel that they were staying at was just like a quick 4 or 5 minute walk from the bar. So it was all within this small village, so very close in walking distance. So it wasn't like you're going to be walking super far or anything like that. So, like I said, Kyle leaves the bar and goes back to the hotel. And so the next morning around 8 a.m., Kyle wakes up and notices that Liam still hadn't returned back to the room. And he tried calling and texting him, but didn't get any response. Kyle did notice that he had a missed call from Liam around 3:16 a.m., and this would be significant later. So at first in the morning, like neither Kyle or Colin were overly concerned. They assumed that Liam may have met someone during the night. Maybe he went to another hotel, like went to an after party somewhere or whatever, just ended up at some party, decided to stay there. So they weren't really that concerned. So under that assumption, the two friends went ahead with their plans and they just spent the day skiing. So throughout the morning and the early afternoon, Kyle did continue trying to reach Liam. At first, he tried calling about once every hour, but as more time passed with no response, the calls became more frequent. So he started calling him like two times every hour. And then it became three times every hour. And then by the evening, around 6 p.m., Liam still hadn't answered any messages or calls. And so the situation started to feel much more serious. So that's when Kyle and Colin decided to call Liam's stepbrother, Ryan, to let him know that Liam had not been seen since the night before. So Ryan then contacts Liam's parents, and Liam's father, Chris, and his wife, Lara, immediately became concerned and contacted Liam's mother, Kathleen. The three of them quickly make plans to drive to Mont Tremblant together. And while that's happening, back at the resort, Colin goes to the front desk of the hotel and begins the process of reporting Liam missing. So the same night, shortly after this missing persons report was made, and as his parents are on their way to Mont Tremblant, there is a major snowstorm that kind of moves through the area. And so this kind of concerned Liam's family and friends and only increased their concern because if there was, if Liam had been outside and in the elements or something got lost or whatever it was, this snowstorm isn't going to help the situation and could easily become dangerous. So that's kind of what they were thinking about as they were heading there through these wintry conditions. They get to Mont Tremblant kind of in the middle of the night, the three of them, and immediately they just start, they go to the hotel, they start asking around, they really start to talk to the police and all of this stuff and to really get the investigation rolling. And so the police get involved pretty quickly and investigators begin, doing the preliminary steps of an investigation, talking to the family and the friends. And they pretty quickly begin reviewing surveillance footage from around the resort village. And from the surveillance footage at the different businesses in the village, they're able to piece together Liam's movements after he left the bar. And so I'm going to show some of the footage in a little bit. According to the footage, Liam remained at the Petite Caribou bar until around 3 a.m. And he was asked to leave by staff around that time. And in an interview, Liam's father, Chris Toman, does say that he actually spoke to a security guard who was a supervisor at the bar that night. And the guard says that he remembers that one of his guards spoke to Liam and said that he didn't seem like overly intoxicated. He had a conversation with him, asked if Liam knew where he was going. Liam said he did. So it wasn't like he was stumbling around drunk and like disorderly or anything like that, but he was kicked out of the bar. And I did watch or listen to another podcast that said that he had like taken an empty glass off the bar. I don't really know, but then the kind of bouncers escorted him out from that. So I don't really know like the situation around that. But based on this conversation that Liam's father had with the security guard from that night, he didn't say that he was like overly drunk or anything like that. But anyway, he was kicked out around 3 o'clock. So the night that this happened, it was extremely cold outside. So it was around minus 25 degrees Celsius, but the skies were clear. So it wasn't like it was, you know, whiteout conditions or snowing or anything like that. It was pretty clear sky. And Liam was dressed appropriately for the weather. So when he was last seen, he was wearing a black Volcom coat with brown spots, black snow pants, a green t-shirt and a plaid shirt, a white hat with dark stripes, and brown work boots with black toes. So that also wasn't something that they were super concerned about initially either, that he was like underdressed. He was wearing warm clothing at least. Several cameras, like I said, captured him from the time he left the bar to his last movements. This first clip shows him leaving Petite Caribou, so that bar is just like behind him in that footage, and he is heading in the direction towards his hotel, La Tour de Voyageur, and so that's what you'll see. You'll just see him walking that way. The second clip is the same moment, but from a different angle. And in both of these clips, Liam can be seen holding his phone up to his ear, which aligns with the time that he attempted to call Kyle. Like I said, Kyle did notice he had a missed call around 3:16, 3:17, and you'll see on the surveillance footage here that aligns with that timeline. So investigators later confirmed that the last activity on Liam's phone was between 3:15 and 3:17 a.m. when he tried to call Kyle. So by this point, Kyle's already back in the hotel room and he's asleep, and this phone is on silent, so he missed the call. But around the same time as well, Liam's father did get a text from Liam's phone that said something along the lines of, "Yo, meet me outside." But it wasn't, I think there was like spelling errors or something, so they didn't know exactly, but they assumed that's what he meant to put. And the family believes that the message was sent by mistake and that he likely intended to text Kyle, but accidentally sent it to his dad. And so that also happened around between that 3:15 and 3:17 a.m. window as well. So because of this, Liam's friends and family have wondered whether he may have been planning to meet someone or go somewhere else and wanted Kyle to join him. But there is no way to confirm, obviously, what his plans were. So after those final phone interactions between 3:15 and 3:17 a.m., Liam never used his phone again. And the reason there's like kind of that window there, because I was kind of confused, because in the Fifth Estate episode, they mentioned 3:16 as the last time. That's the time that Kyle got the call and the time that they say that he last used his phone. And also other sources say that too. But if you look at the CCTV footage that shows him with his phone to his ear, it has a timestamp of 3:17 a.m. So when I saw the time stamp, I was like, I thought it was 3:16, and here it's saying it's 3:17. So I don't really know. It doesn't really matter exactly, but what's most important to know is that it happens before one of these other clips that is the last confirmed sighting, which is around 3:20. So, but we do know that he never uses his phone after this 3:15 to 3:17 window. So surveillance cameras continue to capture Liam walking along the route toward his hotel. And so if you go to clip number 3, one camera shows him walking between two buildings and, nothing out of the ordinary. You just see still walking. But you'll notice, and his family makes note of this too, he seems to be walking not like someone who's particularly drunk or stumbling. He's walking seemingly with purpose, like he knows where he's going. He doesn't seem unsure. He's just walking along this route. And remember, like I said, it's only like a 3-4 minute walk from the bar. So it is very close. And then if you go to clip number 4, this is just um, another surveillance footage along the route. It continues him walking along the same path down that road towards his hotel. So those first 4 clips aren't anything to look into that much, but it shows that he's walking in the right direction that he should be. But it's really the 5th clip that is the most important to the investigation. And that clip is timestamped around 3:19 a.m. So if you go to the 5th clip there, this is a final camera angle, and it shows him near the edge of the frame speaking to people who are just out of view. So you'll see, and the video will zoom in at some point to show or highlight him. He's just behind where the timestamp is, so it's a little hard to see him, but he's right behind that. And you'll see him talking to people that are just out of view. And during this interaction, Liam can be seen kind of pointing in the opposite direction from the people that he's speaking to, almost as if he's asking if he's going the right way or something like that. Then he starts walking, and then he goes off on this like little path you'll see, and this route would lead towards the back of his hotel. So something that's a little hard to see from that footage, but I will describe it. In I don't think it's in the Fifth Estate episode, but there's another French documentary that they do, and Liam's mother is actually there with the reporter showing. So where he's standing in that final footage, where he's talking to those people, so right behind him, like in the direction where he ends up walking, like you'll see the road, and he would have been able to see the front of his hotel from where he was standing. And the kind of way he ventures off on that little, like, it's like a little trail or something, would have been leading him to the back of the hotel. So it's weird that if he was looking for his hotel, he wouldn't have just walked directly to. Yeah.
Like, well, I know on the Fifth Estate, like, the mom leads the reporter to the back of this weird trail. It's pitch black, but he's pointing to his hotel, right? To these people. So,
Well,
but, like,
we don't know.
I thought that's what
Well,
he said.
no, like he's pointing in the direction of his hotel, but his mom explains, I don't think it's in the Fifth Estate one, but one of her biggest questions she has is like, why would he be asking these people where his hotel is and pointing there? He could have seen it. It was like
Oh, I
50 feet from where he was standing. Like, why would he have asked if that was where his hotel was?
he's going to the back of the hotel, but the front is that way? You know what I mean? Like, I don't
Yeah,
understand.
like, it's hard to explain it, like, just from looking at that video, but,
Mhm.
so he's standing so where he's standing, like, he's facing the people that he's talking to, and then directly behind him, like, if he had just turned around and just walked down the road, like, the main entrance to his hotel was right there, like, maybe, like, what, 100 feet, 50 feet from where he was standing? So, the way you'll see he turns and starts walking, but he kinda turns a little bit and goes to this, like, other path. That's where, like, that direction would have been around the back of the hotel, like, if there was, like, a back entrance, but it seems very weird that he wouldn't have just gone to the main entrance that was right there next to him, basically. So why was he going to, like, in the direction of the back of the hotel? Seems very weird. And also, that's why his mom is questioning, like, was he asking where his hotel was? Like, he would have been able to see it. It's very clear that that's his hotel.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't think he was asking for directions at all, but that's just me.
yeah, well, I mean, they think he may have been asking directions, but not to his hotel,
Right, yeah, yeah,
possibly
But
yeah.
somewhere
don't
else,
they
yeah.
talk to the people that he's talking to? What do they say?
So they do find these 2 people that he was talking to, but I guess I just kinda wanted to explain it's a little hard when you don't see the actual documentary that I'm talking about
I
because they're
get
standing right
where's
there,
where's the parking lot? Did he have a car there? Could he be, like, trying to get to the parking lot to get something out of his car or something? Or, like, maybe he knew the hotel was
possibly?
there, but he's, like, trying to get to, yeah, like, his car or his friend's car or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, they drove there, so they do have a car. I mean, I never even thought of that. That's a good point.
Yeah,
Um
maybe he was, like, texting Kyle because he needed the keys to the car, so he's like, "Meet me out front, like, I need to get in the car." But
Mhm.
that's kinda what I'm thinking.
Mhm. Yeah, I never
Yeah.
thought of that.
Yeah, me neither. Maybe. Maybe. But it's just, they're thinking, yeah, like, he wasn't heading directly into the hotel. That they know that because he didn't go in that direction, like, he went to the back of it, which is odd, and there is no also, that's the last surveillance footage that exists of him, so he kind of walks like, he's talking to the people, he turns around, walks in that direction that he pointed, and then just kinda goes out of frame, and that's the last place that he's ever seen, and he's never picked up on any other security camera anywhere else on the resort, and the hotel, there's no footage of him entering through the front entrance or through any entrance of the hotel if that was his hotel or where it was. He was standing just really close to it. Instead of walking down the road into the front entrance, he veers off on like that smaller path towards the back of the hotel. The pointing that he makes in that footage, along with the text that says, "Yo, meet me outside," and calling Kyle, kind of all lines up in the family's eyes as being evidence that he was planning to go somewhere other than his hotel that night. But where? So like the thought is maybe he was spoke with someone at the bar. Maybe he had met people and they invited him to some after party or something, and he was gonna invite Kyle or wanted Kyle to go with him there. That's why I asked Kyle to meet him outside. I never thought of the whole needing to get into the car. That's a good thing. Maybe maybe that was the case. But his family is saying that like based on his text to Kyle and pointing and the area that he points in is also kind of significant, which I'll get into a little bit as well. But investigators later do identify the 2 men that Liam had briefly spoken with, and their names are Guillaume and Hugo. And it's actually Liam's mother, Kathleen, that initially located them because she spoke with the manager. Like when she got to Mont Tremblant, like right away, she starts talking to people, and eventually she's able to talk to the manager at the Marriott Hotel. And then also later, journalists from the Fifth Estate are also able to find these guys and meet them. And the episode, I think, is filmed in the summer of 2025, or this part of it is anyway. So they actually meet last summer. The 2 guys come back to Mont Tremblant and like kind of show them where they were standing and all of this stuff. And they talk about what they spoke with Liam about. The 2 men, they explained that they had been at the Petite Caribou bar that night as well. According to Hugo, his jacket had been stolen inside the bar. And so the 2 guys kind of are rushing from the bar back down to the parking garage where their car was and like in a rush so that because he didn't have a coat. So it was like trying to, and it was minus 25. So it was trying to like get warm. So they were kind of like standing by this like door to the parking garage so they could get warm. And that's when Liam calls out to them from behind. And they say that they don't actually remember what Liam asked or what he said. They said that he didn't appear distressed or scared or worried at all. And Hugo says that if there had been any kind of emergency, that obviously they would have stepped in to help him, but he didn't. he didn't seem distressed or anything. He didn't seem lost. He didn't seem, worried at all, really. And so because the interaction seemed ordinary at the time, actually don't recall many details. They couldn't remember what direction Liam was pointing to or where he may have been heading afterward. And ultimately, they were unable to provide police with any meaningful clues. So basically, all they could remember, like one of the guys says, I don't even remember talking to Liam at all that night. Like and it's the other guy, Hugo, that remembers a little bit more. He like remembers actually talking to him, but doesn't remember at all what was said.
Like, they didn't really say a lot, but the fact that they were able to say, like, he didn't seem distressed or, like, confused, I think that's very telling. So
Yeah,
that was, like that's a big piece that at least they could tell police, you know?
yeah, yeah. So, because yeah, obviously, if they had said like, "Oh, he seemed like worried," he was like, someone was after him or something, like that would have added a
Yeah,
valuable
and I think
piece.
the
But
fact that they don't even remember what they talked about makes it like it was just so insignificant. It was just like a thing that could have happened, the conversation that could have went down with anybody that it just like not memorable at all. So it was like nothing crazy going on.
yeah, yeah, and I think you always get people on both sides of that, right? People are like, "Oh, suspicious," they don't remember, but then it's like, no, if it was super insignificant, you're not going to remember. And also, they had been at the bar; they're probably drinking, right? They're not like 100% sober too, so it's like, I think it's totally normal that they wouldn't remember. I think it would be very fishy if they remembered every single thing. Like, that would have been more weird to me. And also, by the time the police find them, it's like a couple months later, like, so the fact that one guy was like, "I don't even remember this at all." And it was his friend that was like,
Before the police had asked them, did they know that this guy had gone missing that they had talked to, or was like the police were like, "This guy's missing," and you talked to him that night? Because I feel like
well,
if they knew, they might, I don't know, they could have like thought about it beforehand. You know what I mean? Like, you
yeah,
know what I mean? Like yeah, they would have known before the
yeah,
police came to them.
yeah, I don't think they really knew much at all because it's in the Fifth Estate episode where they show, I think it's like over Zoom, where the reporter's talking to the mom, and she was telling her, "Oh, I found the names. I talked to the hotel, and they gave me the names of these 2 people who said they might have seen Liam or who he might have been talking to." I don't really know how they, like, narrowed it down to those exact people. They don't really get into that. They just it's his mother that says, "Oh, these are their names." And, "Oh, one of them has moved to the Yukon." He, like, lives in the Yukon now. I only know his, like, first name. And so it's actually, like, the Fifth Estate that she takes down their names, and, like, she also tracks them down. But the police also, I'm assuming, have interviewed them too. So, like, I don't really know exactly. I don't think they knew he was missing because by the time the word got out, they had probably gone, and it wasn't like big news really. Like it's not a mainstream kind of case really, especially that early on. So I don't think they knew. So the fact that the other guy even remembered at all, this like 5-second interaction or 10-second interaction is impressive in and of itself. But yeah, so yeah, like I said, they weren't really able to offer anything significant to police other than the fact, like you said, Lisa, that they said he wasn't in distress or didn't seem to be in distress. And they also didn't say anything about, "Oh, he seemed really drunk," or he seemed like we needed to help him step in because he clearly was way too drunk or something like that. I guess, and you guys saw the CCTV footage. Like he's walking very like
He doesn't
his father says like he's walking with a purpose. Like he seems like he knows
yeah,
where he's
he
going.
doesn't
He doesn't
walk like
hesitate.
any of the he doesn't, like, he's not walking drunk, I don't think,
Yeah, it's not like
at
stumbling
all.
or like yeah, or like
No,
looking
like, he
around to figure out where he's going. It looks like he's like
like,
yeah, he
he knows
beeline to
exactly where
the
he's going.
hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And like I said, it's only like a 3 or 4-minute walk from the bar, so it's not like it's really far, and he was clearly walking like, you don't see him, like, stopping to look around, like, "Oh, am I going the right way?" Like, he knew very clearly where he was, which is why it's weird that he would get that far and then ask, "Oh, is that my hotel?" to those people. Like, he got all the way there, and then he can see it and asks. So, I don't think he was asking for the hotel, he must have been asking he's pointing in some direction, but maybe
They probably asked him, like, where you staying at?" Or, like, "Are you staying" he's like, I'm right there," or something,
yeah,
like
maybe, yeah. But
like,
they
that's
never
what I
said that, but they don't remember, I guess,
yeah,
is
that's what I took from it. They're probably like, "Oh, I'm staying at this hotel, where you staying?" Or, like, just 2 tourists
yeah, but,
talking, you know?
like, he called out to them, though, it was just weird. Like, they were
Oh,
facing like, they were away from him, and then he called out to them from behind, and then they turned around. So, like, he tried to get their attention for something.
hmm.
So, that's weird. So, that's why it seemed like he was called out to them so he could get directions. in the Fifth Estate episode, they actually mentioned, so his mother says there's also one additional camera that does capture the movement of a shadow around the same time that could match Liam's movements, but investigators are not able to confirm whether that shadow is actually him or not. So that's why they consider that last clip I showed you of him by the hotel, that's the last official sighting of him. They don't know if the shadow was him, but it could seem consistent with the way he was walking. The camera that was located a few minutes walk away from the last confirmed footage and showed movement heading away from the hotel towards an area with chalet style condos. So that was something that the family thought was interesting. And that area actually, like the road leading up to the chalet condos, that area was searched extensively. So they did door to door inquiries. They sent emails to the people who stayed in them, and they even set up like roadblocks to hand out flyers. But nothing significant came from that effort. Nobody said anything. Just nothing really came at all from that. And behind Liam's hotel, there is also a narrow path that runs past like this loading dock. Like his mom takes the journalist there. And so like if he was going towards the back of the hotel, he could have like went it's like this like back like laneway basically that goes past this loading dock. But she says this would have been a really weird way to go in the deep snow. Like why would you go there? So it's like not like impossible, but it's just very strange that you would like go through this like super deep snow past this area. But maybe. Who knows? So what we do know, like I said before, is there is no surveillance footage that shows him entering his hotel after that final clip. So somewhere in that short stretch between the last camera that caught him and the entrance to the hotel, he just appears to have veered off course and just never was captured on any surveillance again. And from that point on, Liam Toman seemingly vanished, which I find just crazy. It's like literally what, a 1 minute period of time. And he never was captured on any other, like there was that many surveillance cameras around that caught him up to that point. But then after he goes off frame there's nothing else at all in this 1 minute, very short time frame that it would have taken him to walk to the front of his hotel. So very, very weird. So I guess, did you guys, before I get into this next part, do you guys have any thoughts or?
I thought he so I thought he like that weird path that his mother had took the journalist on. I thought that's the path he had taken, but they're just saying this is the path he could have. I thought that was the path that he did take for sure, but I guess he didn't.
No,
Mm.
no, because they're
Like,
kind of saying like this would have been a very weird path to take. That's what
oh,
she's saying
okay.
as she's taking her through.
Y-
Um,
Mm,
and they don't
okay.
have any surveillance. They have nothing. But it's like based
Mhm.
on like where he kind of walks off in that last camera footage, it's like if he had walked a little bit further, it would have led him down that way. So I think it's like kind of a possibility of he could have gone through here. And I think they're matching it up to where that shadow was later because he could have got
Oh,
there
yeah,
from
yeah.
that other place through that laneway. But
Oh, right. It's I think it yeah, it's I think it's that shadow that made them go to that weird
yeah,
way. Mm,
yeah,
mhm. Okay.
So is there surveillance footage in the parking lot at all? Probably not.
no. Or I mean, not any. It didn't say that there wasn't, but he was never seen on anything. So if there was, he wasn't captured
That's
on it.
so weird that he just like disappeared out of camera view forever. Like, what the hell?
So weird, yeah. So I'm tending to think, like, I don't know that it didn't have surveillance footage at the parking lot, which seems weird that you wouldn't, but, like, if you
Yeah.
did unless he just didn't make it to the parking lot, but it's a very small window between there and there, like, how do you vanish without being seen on any camera? Like, that's what makes me
Mhm.
think there wasn't, because if there was cameras all over the parking lot, which is gonna be relevant later based on where they find something in this case. It's just weird. I don't know. So very small window of opportunity where he could have went missing and just got super unlucky that there was no cameras that covered that small little area. So yeah, that's kind of where the investigation sat for a little while. After his parents got there, they talked to a bunch of people, were trying to hand out flyers, get any information that they could. But for a month and a half, there was really no leads. They had nothing to really go on. But on March 22nd, which was a month and a half after Liam vanished, a resort employee finds Liam's wallet lying in melting snow near a parking lot. And this is near where he had last been seen on that surveillance footage. So inside his wallet were his hotel access card and his driver's license, his ID, but the cash that he was known to have carrying was missing. So it's unclear whether he had dropped it somewhere else or if it had been taken, or maybe who knows, maybe he spent it all at the bar. Who knows? We don't know, but his his dad said that he had cash in his wallet. This map will show you. So it shows where his hotel was located, and then the shadow that they saw on that camera is located there, and then the point here at the bottom with the yellow highlighter is where the wallet was found. So that shadow is consistent potentially with where Liam would have walked to because his wallet was found in that same area.
It
So
seems really far away when you look at that map, though. Like, it looks pretty far.
I didn't like from that map, it looks, yeah, way far away, like, than I
I don't think it's
originally thought.
that far. I mean, I think the bar also looks a little bit far when you see the bar to the hotel, but it's really only 5 minutes. So this like maybe is what 5 minutes away, maybe a little bit more, but it's a relatively small area. But there is the parking. That looks like a big parking lot there. So
Yeah.
I don't, and that's yeah, and like I said, his wallet was found near the parking lot. Um,
So
but
in the
that's why.
in those surveillance videos, he was, like, coming up from the back, like, kind of at the top of the map there is where he'd have been coming through?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, like I think where that yellow or that red circle is, where it's pointing to, is where he was. Like you'll see that's the hotel there, that building,
Mhm.
and so like over to the left there would been like the front entrance,
Okay.
but he kind of walked like behind it. So he would have had to walk behind it, down there, and then on this other road that connects to it,
Hmm.
and then on that path. So yeah, I think that's the reason why the shadow might be significant because it was close to where the wallet was found. So they're thinking like that could have been Liam that they saw walking in that shadow. So, assuming it was Liam, why? Where was he walking to? First of all, like he would, like I said before, he would have known where his hotel. He was right there. Why would he have walked around the hotel to the back down this road? Was he going to the parking lot, like Katie mentioned? Maybe if that's the parking lot you had to park in. It looks like it might be. It's still the biggest parking lot there. Like there's not another. So I don't know, but anyway, that's where the wallet was found, and the wallet was the only personal item of Liam's that was ever recovered. So when he went missing, the local police, like the Sûreté du Québec, the SQ is what they're called. So they actually did a 12-day search right off the bat, right away. But by the time the wallet was found, a month and a half later, the search had obviously stopped. But the wallet finding was significant enough, so they actually started the search again after that, and they started to search the area directly around where that wallet was found. Although Liam's phone has never been recovered, which is weird, investigators were able to track its activity right after his disappearance. So, like I said, that he made that final call and texted his dad by mistake between 3:15 to 3:17 a.m. And the phone was never used again. So after he goes out of frame in that final surveillance footage, he never uses his phone again after that. But although it was never used, it did continue to ping off the same nearby cell tower. And later in the investigation, like maybe a week or so or less, Liam's sister is actually able to access his iPad and she gets in, she like knows his password. She gets in, and so she can actually track his phone location from there. It shows that the phone's last known location was alongside the hotel near where he had been last seen. So right around that spot where he was seen on the camera, his phone was last pinged there. And the phone continued to ping on that same tower until 6:24 p.m. on February 2nd. So that was 15 hours after he had disappeared. That phone was sitting there pinging off that tower.
Well, it's weird that were they looking for him at this point? Like, the weird they didn't find the phone ever if it was sitting there for that long.
Mhm.
Like, someone obviously found it and threw it out or something.
I know, that's what's weird. Like, how did they not find the phone if it was that close to the hotel, like, right around, like, the side of the hotel?
Yeah.
Like, nobody saw it? Nobody I don't know. It's it's very weird, but, um, yeah, so for 15 hours, it was pinging off that same tower, and then after 6:24 PM, it just stopped pinging, so police believe that it just the battery died or something after that. That's why it stopped pinging. So and despite extensive searches of the area, the phone has never been found, and there's been no activity on Liam's bank accounts or social media since he disappeared. So, yeah, I find it really weird that they still have never, ever found the phone. Like, even by now, when they do the 12-day search, they're searching around the hotel, they never find it in those 12 days. Like, that's to me very weird. So there is a map there that shows it. You'll see where the phone actually was. So you'll see that it was pretty much near the hotel, like next to it, basically. This would have been the route that he could have that would have likely taken.
Crazy.
So for something to be that close to the hotel and for that extensive of a search to be done to have never found it. Like, I get that they wouldn't have maybe not found it in the first 15 hours, but, like, they did a 12-day search after that, and they never found it. I find that
I'm thinking, like, maybe
really
he
weird.
dropped it in, like, the snow or something, and then it was snowy, right? And then maybe someone, like, shoveled or they plowed and, like, just got caught up in a
Mhm.
snowbank, and then
Well, remember I said there was a snowstorm that next
yeah,
night?
yeah,
Um,
that's what I'm thinking.
so I think that yeah, that's actually a good point, like, it just the snowplow took it
Yeah.
or something because
But
it would
the
have been
snowplow didn't take his wallet ever.
No, yeah, I know. Yeah.
It could have though, could have
His
moved
wallet
it and then, like, somehow like, it could have moved the wallet down there, and then once the snow melted, but then it took the phone with him, I don't know.
Yeah, it could happen, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. So maybe he dropped his wallet and his phone in the same spot, but the wallet just got moved somehow from
Yeah, maybe.
in the snowplow? I don't know, maybe. But
Makes sense, like, the money would fall out, if it's, like, getting plowed around. Like,
yeah, but nothing else fell out, like his
But
all of his
where the wallet is, it kinda looks like it was, like, someone threw it out the window as they were driving or something. Because it's right along that road, right? Right along the route there.
yeah,
That's what
and that
my
was
first thought was. It's like someone they
it's like,
found the
why.
wallet, they stole the cash and then chucked the wallet out the window as they were driving away.
Yeah, yeah, mhm.
yeah, that's what I thought. I think being near a parking lot is significant, I think.
Mhm.
Like, somebody from that parking lot, like, maybe Liam was walking to the parking lot and
It just
something happened
seems
there.
like a tourist, like, a ski resort wouldn't have, security cameras in the parking lot, when it's a vacation spot. I find that weird.
Yeah, and they never said like, nowhere did it say they didn't have any security cam. It just said he was never seen on it. So either they did have cameras, but they would've you think they would've said, "There's cameras," and he didn't show up. They just said he was never seen on any security cameras after that. So maybe that meant they did have cameras in the parking lot, they just didn't see him. So that means if that's the
Yeah.
case and his wallet was found that close, like, he wouldn't have been there when it dropped, like, maybe it was, like Katie said, thrown out the window. So yeah, very, very weird. Also, there's another piece to this puzzle as well, or like other information from that night. So police also review the surveillance footage from earlier in the night inside that bar, Petite Caribou. And in one clip, Liam is actually seen speaking with a man at 2:31 a.m. So that is the surveillance footage, and it's timestamped 2:31 a.m. So this would have been about 12 minutes after Kyle texted him asking where he was, like because Kyle said he wanted to go home and he couldn't find him. So we know that as of 2:31, like at the time Kyle texted him, and for at least 12 minutes after that, he was still in the bar. Um, so we see him talking to this guy. So the police are able to find out who that guy is. And as it turns out, they speak with this man, and he actually was a manager at one of the neighboring bars, and he was just there at the bar. And he says that he had seen Liam talking to like this group of girls at the bar. Goes up to him and says, all the girls in this bar, they're already partnered up. So like if you're looking to hook up or something, it's probably not going to happen here. But he said it was a very brief conversation. It was very friendly. He said that Liam was like relaxed and easygoing about it. They actually got into like small talk about skiing, and they fist bumped at the end. So it was like nothing that was any confrontation or anything like that. It was very cordial. Shortly after that, he left the bar with his friends, but Liam was still inside the bar at the time that he left. This matches the surveillance that showed Liam there until at least 3 a.m. So they thought maybe this was a lead. Turns out he couldn't really provide any more information, but it did kind of make it seem like, well, maybe there was someone else that talked to him. They don't say that there was anything on surveillance, but like this guy went up to him and said, like, don't hit on these girls, they're already partnered. Like, so maybe there was someone else that he like hit on the wrong person or something. Like, we don't know. But there's never the surveillance footage that follows him from the bar, never there's no one following him or anything like that. So I find that a little bit hard to believe. But so ultimately that lead kind of went nowhere as well. So like I said, since Liam disappeared, extensive searches of the surrounding area have taken place, and the SQ conducted, like I said, intensive 12-day search that involved foot patrols, ATV routes, helicopter sweeps, canine tracking, and horseback searches. And large sections of the mountain and the surrounding terrain were covered, yet nothing belonging to Liam was ever found beyond his wallet. There is a map, so that shows you um, where the areas were that searched. So the foot patrols are the things in red. So that's where they walked on foot. In blue is the canine tracking. The horseback searches are the pink. Purple shows where the ATVs went, and then the yellow outlines the helicopter path. So as you can see, they did a pretty intensive search in the whole surrounding area, and nothing was ever found. So his phone in that all those searches that were done of that area were never found. His phone was never found, which I find very weird. They also never found, because obviously the main theory was that he got lost and succumbed to the elements, and his body's just somewhere out there, but it's not anywhere in that area at all. And you'd think they would have found it if that was the case. So that's very weird. As part of the investigation, police also spoke with Liam's friends and family to learn more about him and also determine whether there were any factors that might have made him more vulnerable. So, one of Liam's close friends, Shireen Kamisa, she said that investigators were asking detailed questions about their lives, including school, hobbies, possible drug use, financial stress, or any secrets that Liam might have been keeping. But she told them there was nothing like that. And other friends kind of said the same thing. Liam didn't appear to have a secret life or anything that caused major stress. So either he did and he just was very secretive about it and didn't tell anyone, or it wasn't the case. In June of 2025, so this would have been about 4 months after he had disappeared, Liam's mother, Kathleen, confirmed after meeting with the SQ that investigators were also looking into one additional possible lead. And surveillance footage actually showed a white vehicle driving around the resort area around the same time that Liam disappeared. It's unclear whether the vehicle is connected to the case, but investigators were working at that time to enhance the footage. So obviously, classic case of can't really make out much about the vehicle other than it's white. Too blurry, can't tell. And they don't really go into detail of what the car was doing or anything, just that there was a white car in the area driving around the same time that Liam's on this surveillance footage and in that area too. Nothing really came of that, or at least not yet, but it is possibly something to look into. So another point of concern for Liam's friends and family has been the response from Mont Tremblant itself, like the resort. People involved in the search believe that the resort was hesitant to draw attention to the disappearance. And Liam's friend Shireen says that the resort just wants to maintain its image as a popular ski destination and wants to avoid all negative publicity, as any business, I'm sure, does. So 4 days after Liam went missing, Shireen contacted the resort asking if they would post information about the disappearance on their social media accounts, but they declined to do so. And then on February 9th, she sent them a missing poster that she had created and asked if they would share it, but they refused to do that as well. In the Fifth Estate episode, they actually interview someone named um, Nalia Dubé. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but she worked at one of the steakhouses on the resort at the time of the disappearance. And she says that local businesses received an email from the Tremblant Resort Association, which manages the resort, shortly after Liam disappeared. The email included Liam's photo and details about his disappearance, but at the bottom, there was also a notice that instructed employees not to, quote, initiate any proactive communication on the subject, end quote, with customers. So she's saying they were just really trying to sweep it under the rug. They didn't want anyone talking about it. They didn't want anyone asking questions, looking into it. So that was a huge thing for the friends and family too. It's why are you so adamant? Not only are you not helping, you're trying to stop progress from happening, which is really annoying.
Them not bringing attention to it, it's like they're almost kinda, making it like it could be easier to happen ag these people need to be more there could be someone in the area that's hurting the tourists, they need to be vigilant when they come. It's almost like you're, doing a disservice to the people that come there. Yeah.
Yeah, because they don't care. They're just hoping no one knows about it, and they don't want people thinking twice about going there. But so really annoying. And then some people in the community interpreted this as an attempt to avoid drawing attention to the situation, of course. A local Tremblant resident that they also interview in the Fifth Estate, she says that she tried organizing like around the time of Liam's birthday, which would have been in July, she tried to organize a group photo of like volunteers and some of the staff beside this rock that was at the resort that said, Liam Toman, where are you? And they were going to take a picture of like all of the volunteers and some of the staff and send to his parents for his birthday, kind of like this thing to show that they were still helping and still looking for him. But she said that no one showed up, and she believed that some staff may have been afraid out of concern for their job. So she thinks that like people just didn't want to go because if they were, they would have been fired.
It actually works against them. They just puts more spotlight on them for saying no.
I know,
What
I know,
idiots.
I know, I know. Yeah, it makes
Yeah.
it seem like there's something they're covering up. Like,
Yeah. I mean, I understand why they think it would be bad for business, but I mean, why is that more important than, like, finding a missing person? And
Like, it
it
wasn't, like,
it's not like
your
I
fault.
was gonna say, it's not like it wasn't the resort that did it, it's not their fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People will still go there, I feel.
yeah, like, do you think all of a sudden you're gonna get no customers because one person went missing? Like, that's not
everyone
gonna
goes to
happen.
Mexico, and that's the most dangerous place to be right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
I feel
know.
like
I don't know,
if
it
they,
just
like, showed that they were actually helping and concerned, it would, like, make people feel better to be like, "Okay, if something happens to me there, then, like, they're at least gonna try and find me and help and not, like, pretend I didn't exist."
that's a good point. It's like, it's not if I feel like you would go there more like this. I don't know. You want to be like ensure that you're taking all the safety precautions and stuff, so more people would feel safe
Yeah,
there.
like, this
Instead
place
of
actually
you're
cares about me.
deterring,
Yeah.
yeah, like you're deterring customers and being like, we don't care, we're gonna hide it. We're not gonna worry about your safety. Like,
Yeah,
I
like,
don't
if
know.
you go
They
missing
just
or get hurt, then we're gonna pretend that you were
yeah.
never here.
I think it had the opposite effect of what they were hoping for sure.
Yeah, like, at least if you went there, you'd be like, "Okay, at least the resort, they're on it." Like, if something happens,
Mhm.
like,
Yeah.
trust that they will actually try to care and, like, try to find out what happened. Yeah, versus, like Katie said, pretend when you were never here. We'll just,
Yeah.
like, brush it under the
Yeah.
rug, like, yeah, and try to, like, anyone that tries to help will, like, do everything we can to not help them. So it's really annoying. So like I said, like no one showed up to do that group photo, and then not long afterward, the message that was on that rock was painted over, and then there was also another message higher up the mountain, like along like big cement things that were part of the ski lift. Like somebody had put a message there about Liam as well, like we will find you, and that one was painted over too, pretty soon after. So the resort just doesn't care, couldn't care less, or at least at that time they couldn't. It's like also makes you think it's like, well, is there more that they know? Like not even just about this, but like
Or like, yeah,
is
like
this
what do they
something
want to
that
start uncover?
yeah, 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 it's like if they
Yeah,
think like this investigation will uncover more things that they
yeah,
don't
like
want
more
people to
missing
know.
people, probably.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
something like that. So, yeah, it just like you said, it makes it seem more suspicious. So it's like their plan is backfiring on them pretty badly. So for Liam's family and friends, of course, the actions of the resort have only added to the frustration. More than a year later, Liam Toman's disappearance remains unexplained and the search for answers continues. But I did see an article that was from January of this year, and it seems that the resort has partially changed their tune a little bit on this because they've since launched an awareness campaign with the help of the family. And that was according to a CBC article from January. So they came to their senses at least now. But
Oh,
maybe they're
that's
just trying
good.
to like, yeah. So I mean, the result is the same, but like, why didn't they do this a year ago?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just annoying. Like, oh, you have no problem doing it now. Was it because you were getting backlash from not doing it before? Or like, it's just really annoying. Like, you could have done all this last year, this time last year. Maybe it would have helped. So, really annoying. So, the family has set up a website, liamtoman.com, with updates and information about his disappearance. There's also a GoFundMe page set up to help fund the family's own searches and their frequent returns to the Tremblant area to continue their own investigation. So anyone with information on the case is asked to contact the SQ at 1-800-659-4264. There's also currently a $50,000 reward for information that could lead to Liam's whereabouts or information about what happened. And then this last quote is directly from the Liam Toman website. It says, quote, if you were in Mont Tremblant from January 31st to February 3rd, 2025, please check your photos, videos, dash cams, home security, and conversations for anything that could help. Even the smallest detail could make a difference. You can also make anonymous tips. Together we will find Liam. Please share his story and use the hashtags Bring Liam Home, Find Liam Toman, and Together. End quote. And that's where the case stands today. So still unsolved, still very, very weird. So given the information that we went over, like, what do you guys think happened?
I think he was going to an after party. Like, he had met some people at the bar that said there's a party at this chalet or something. I think that's where he was heading. He had called his friend 'cause he wanted his friend to go with him, but then something sinister happened to him because I don't think he got lost. His body would be found. I don't think he's there. Like, someone took him off the resort for like, unless, yeah, and then someone in that, like, maybe in that white car had said like they stopped him and said like, well, we're going to an after party. I don't know. And then he got into the car, and then that something happened in the car, and I think outside of the resort. I don't know, but I think like he definitely was heading to it. I think he was heading to a party for sure.
It seems weird
Yeah.
that he would if he, like, dropped his phone, he would just, like, leave his phone there and, like, go to a party, you know? Oh, that's what's is weird to me that, like, the phone stayed there for 15 hours, but he wasn't there. Because like,
Maybe he didn't realize he dropped it.
maybe, I guess.
And then, like, by the time he, like, realized, he didn't know where he dropped it and couldn't find it. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, maybe.
Because like, you would definitely go back for your phone, like, if you knew,
Mhm. Yeah,
like
that's why I thought that'd weird, like, "Oh, I'm going to a party, but I dropped my phone, but I'm just gonna go anyway." Like, I don't know, it just seems weird. And then also his wallet's fat like, who dumped the wallet out the window and why? If that's what happened, like, he dropped it, didn't notice that either, like, that's weird. If he was, like,
Yeah, I just took
walking,
it as
right?
like I just took it as the wallet was just under a bunch of like it was found. I don't I took it as like he dropped it and it was just found later, but like when the snow melted. But I didn't like I don't think. I mean, it's possible, but I thought he had dropped it there, and
mhm.
then something happened to him after that. Like
Well, I think, like,
someone else
maybe
like
they, like something happened, yeah, it could've been at the same time, like, he got into the car, they robbed him, threw his wallet out, and then it wasn't found, and then it was found because of the melting snow after. Because like, there was a huge snowstorm after that, so it would've been buried pretty quickly. So, I don't know if it but, like, also if it was, because if you think if it was him that just dropped it, like, where was he headed to? He was gonna walk.
Like Lisa said, I definitely don't think he, like, got lost and, like, just died because of the elements. Because yeah, he'd be there somewhere, and I feel like the dogs especially would have found him really quickly. So, I don't know, it seems weird. I don't know.
And don't we say the only or I think we say this in other cases, the only reason a dog doesn't find you is because you get into a car. Like, the dog can sense you. Like, the dog can follow your scent
Yeah.
wherever you go
Mhm.
unless you get in a car, right?
Yeah.
And go and drive away. So, like, to me, that makes it seem like he did get into a car.
who was like get into a car with someone he didn't know, or maybe someone he had been at the bar was in that car. You just seem like you would want to look into more who was all at the bar that night. I don't know, like,
Yeah,
why
and
would he
what makes it weird for me is, like, they were able to find that surveillance footage of him talking to that other guy in the bar. Well, who else did he talk to? Like, find the surveillance footage, see other groups that he talks
Mhm.
to. Find those people.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know, like, I can't I mean, maybe got into a car with people he didn't know who they're, like, all going to a party together, but
But why would they I
yeah.
don't get why they would just target him. They're just
Yeah,
awful people. Like, what happened? Like,
like
the one thing I could think is, like, he hit on someone, like, someone's girlfriend or something, and they got pissed. But he doesn't leave. No one follows him out of the bar.
yeah, like
Nobody so what, they just make this plan, "Okay, we're gonna leave. We're gonna get in our car, meet him." How do they know to meet, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how do we
yeah.
know to meet him? Like, where they're gonna meet him? They just
And I feel
drive.
like, I think feel like a fight would ensue inside the bar, like a fist fight of some sort or something if that had happened, like, I don't know.
Yeah,
And there was no altercation, even there was no ever shown that he got into an altercation with anybody or no tense moments ever.
yeah. Well, he did get kicked out, but only because he took,
Right,
like,
a glass, but
a glass from the or something. Yeah.
hmm.
So and yeah, like I remember I said because his dad also talked to one of the security guards from that night who said they didn't say, "Oh, he was in a big fight. That's why he was kicked
Yeah,
out." They just said,
yeah,
like
and there
they
was
just said,
n
yeah, they talked to him and he seemed fine. So and they said, "Do you know where you're
yeah,
going?" It's really frustrating. It's like they said, "Do you know where you're going?" He said, "Yeah," but he didn't say where he was going. That would have been helpful
yeah,
if they
yeah,
would have said, "Where are you going?" apparently just said,
Yeah.
"Do you know where you're going?" He said, "Yes."
And, like, no one ever said the next day, no other people at the bar ever any of the people that was any of the guests had said it no one ever came forward and said there was a big party this night at the chalet, like, there was never any mention of where a huge party could have been, an after party of any sort. Like, he's the only one that heard about yeah, and he's the only one that knew about this party, like, I feel like everyone would know about a certain party that he was heading to, uh, but then no one
Yeah.
ever mentioned
Like, if
it.
he found out that there was this after party, other people must have been able to
And I feel like he
been
would've,
invited
like
or found out.
maybe he would've and, like, he would've texted, like he would've called his family, also, but maybe would've texted them saying, like, "Come meet me there's a party, meet me outside." Like, I think he would've said something about it in any of the phone calls. I don't know, I find it
Yeah.
so I feel like he was heading somewhere, like, he had I don't think he was heading to the he was heading somewhere other than the hotel, but
Yeah.
I guess that yeah, but why, I guess, is the reason is the big question, but
Yeah, and it's also 'cause, like, he wasn't with anyone. Like, you'd think if
yeah,
there was other people he was with, you could say, "Okay, like, he's going with them wherever they go."
like,
But
yeah,
he's
where
by
was he?
himself, like,
He wasn't
he
ready to call it a
left.
night. Where
Mhm.
yeah, so where was he going, I guess, like
Yeah.
I mean,
'Cause
like,
he did text his friend to say, "Meet me outside," but then
yeah,
his dad said and it's not because, like, he didn't have his key card, because he had his wallet. His key
no,
card
he
was in
did
his wallet when they found it, so
yeah,
he could have been able to get in by himself. He didn't need someone to meet him.
yeah, I just find it weird that he would have dropped his phone and dropped his wallet, or maybe he dropped his phone, didn't realize, and then he got in the car with someone, and then they threw his wallet out. I don't know, and then I'm thinking, like, maybe he did make it to the second location, and then he wandered off there, and he didn't have his phone, so he could have died somewhere out there, but not close to where he was because he was
yeah,
somewhere else, and they just never searched that area because they don't know where he went. But it's like, why was the
yeah.
wallet and the phone lost? So that's the thing. I find that's the strange part.
I don't know where he would have been going when he walked off out of frame there. He wasn't going to the hotel, obviously, because he
No.
would have gone
No,
to in the front door, which was right there,
and he's going to a party that no one else heard of, like,
and going down this back
yeah,
route past this, like,
yeah,
dark alley. Like, I'm sure if he went down
weird,
the road, he would have been able to get there. Like, the only way to the chalet is through this dark alley, like, back
weird.
route. Like, no, it's very weird.
It is weird.
And we don't know if the shadow was him, that shadow the other camera picked up
No,
or not, but it kinda
but
it's near where the
but I
wallet
feel
was
like
found.
if it had been someone else, that I mean, they would be like, there's only one like, it would've been 2 shadows if something had happened to him, you know what I mean? Like, if someone t
Mhm,
like, there was only 1 shadow,
Yeah. So he's by himself. It's not
mhm.
like
like,
someone
he's the
followed him.
yeah, no yeah, until like, I don't know.
Do you think the shadow was him?
I feel like it was. And I feel like maybe he made it to the parking lot and got in a car with somebody. And then, but that, I don't know. I find just the wallet and the phone being missing is weird.
Yeah, like
Both of them. Maybe one, yeah, you dropped one, but then you dropped both in like different locations. I don't know.
I
like, he
think he
got
could
to
have dropped his phone on his own, like, without realizing it, and then by the time he got to the parking lot, he didn't, because he would have had to lose his phone pretty much right after he goes off camera there, because he never uses it again. He never texts anyone, he never calls anyone after that.
and by, like, the 2 witnesses saying he didn't seem drunk or just, like, you'd think he would know if you dropped your phone and you're you would notice you dropped your phone if you're sober and not really that you know what I mean? Like, you
I
weren't sober,
know.
obviously, but, like, that's weird too. I think maybe, like, he got to the parking lot and he ran into some people he had met earlier on the ski hill or something, and they said, "Hey, we're going to this party, like, let's come with us," and then they did something happened to him. I don't know, it's
Yeah,
Yeah.
weird.
I just find like the odds of him like he happened to lose his phone and then he happens to meet up with people that like steal his wallet and then take
Yeah,
him do something to him somewhere. Like that, I don't know. It just seems crazy that those things would
yeah,
all happen at once.
mhm,
Yeah.
but, like, the it's just like, what but then what did happen to him? Because like, if it was a party, more people would've known about it, I feel.
Like, it's weird, like, 'cause I mean, I guess they don't have to be locals that he could have went with, like, or it doesn't have to be tourists, it could have been locals, probably was
Yeah, that
locals.
he had he met earlier or something. Like,
Yeah.
people he had met on the hill, like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, why him? Yeah. Why any I don't know.
Yeah, why
it's
anyone?
just
Maybe
like,
they're just losers, but
he's just the
maybe
only one
something
the first one they saw by himself, like, he's by himself, but I don't know, like, I have
yeah.
no
I just
idea.
find
It's
it crazy that,
crazy.
like, there's no he's not caught on any other surveillance footage after that.
It's such a small window of time. That was why the case was so intriguing to so many people, because it really is such a small place he went missing from, and he just, disappeared from such a small, like, the hotel was literally right there. That is so, so
It
weird.
is, yeah, it's very weird.
Very weird. Like, someone has to so
Like, someone
we're ruling out that, it was like he got lost or something, right?
well, he might have
Since
got
then.
lost outside of the search area.
Yeah, like, I feel like he went somewhere after all of this. He went
Like,
somewhere
he
and maybe
left
he
the
got lost.
resort.
Yeah.
Whether he left on foot or with somebody, like, he left the resort for sure. There's no
Mm,
way he didn't. They would have found him
yeah.
100%. They would have
And
found his
maybe
body for su
yeah. Well, I was gonna say, like, maybe he did go somewhere and then went to the party, left the party, and then got lost on the way home. Didn't have his phone, realized
Mhm.
he didn't have his phone.
Yeah.
like, he went back to look for his phone.
Mhm.
No, no. I don't
And then
know.
why
I
wouldn't
d
somebody
like
come forward and just say, "Oh, he was at a party"?
yeah, like, no one ever came
Yeah.
forward to
Like, the
say
fact that no one came forward makes me think they're hiding something. Because if
yeah,
you just
like,
picked him up
some
and went to a party and it was totally innocent,
and then,
well
like,
then
we that I would have been like, "Yeah, he was at the party, but then he left, and I don't know what happened to him after that." Like,
or like,
and
I
no one
saw
ever
him at the
s ca
party and then I
and no one
didn't.
ever came forward to say that there was a huge, like, "Oh, maybe he was heading to here because there was a party." I don't know, weird.
Yeah, or maybe he got in the car with
Yeah.
someone, and then they were, like, on their way somewhere, and then he realized he didn't have his phone, and they wanted to turn around, but they're like, "No." So they was like, "Let me out. I'll go back and find my phone." They let him out.
Yeah,
Some random on the side of the highway, and then that's
yeah,
where he
and
got
he
lost
just
or something.
But I still
yeah.
feel like they could have been able to find him, like, it's not that far from where
Well, we don't know how far he traveled before he was like, "Let me out."
but
I
wouldn't they
feel
have
like
found a body by now in a year and a half anywhere? Like, if it's not along the
well,
side of the road somewhere?
I don't know.
unless he got disoriented and walked into the
In the
to
forest.
marshland
Yeah.
outside, like, he was out of the search area for sure, somewhere he is.
Yeah, because they would have found him
I don't
if
think
he
he's
was
alive.
no.
No, I don't think it's one
Because
of
really,
those
like,
cases where he, like, got a new life, like, I don't think that's
Yeah.
the
no.
case.
There's no evidence to
Yeah.
Or he
suggest
had,
that,
like,
because
a mental health crisis or something, and he's, like, still wandering around. He would have froze to death eventually.
yeah. But, like, that doesn't line up at all with, like, all of a sudden,
No, I
like, he
know.
was totally fine leading
Yeah.
up to that, and then, like, in 5 minutes
It's just
goes very
weird, like,
bad.
there was no it'd be weird if there had been, like, an altercation, a huge fight, he got into a fight, if there had been something to be like, "Okay, this makes sense," like, he aggravated people. Like, there's nothing. He just got told to leave because he was stealing a glass or something, and he didn't seem that drunk, and then he just, like there's just nothing to indicate which way it went, you know?
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
did he wander off by himself or did someone pick him up? Like, I don't know how you ever gonna find him if you don't know that basic, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
if you don't know if he left on foot, if he lit yeah, unless they search more of the like, outside of the search area, I don't know, but
yeah. So
I
it
don't
it
know.
seems pretty clear that, like, he was intending to go somewhere else after. Like, he wasn't going to
Mhm.
the hotel.
Mhm. Yeah.
No.
I feel like he got in a
Yeah,
car with somebody, and then a secondary location, and that's where he, like, got lost or wandered off or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why no one would have come forward if that was the case,
Yeah.
like,
I know. Weird.
because like, you have to imagine in that area now, especially now that the resort's not silencing it, like,
Yeah.
it would be enough word out there that people in the area would know, like, "Oh, I remember this guy."
Yeah.
Yeah, or
Like, I
unless
don't know.
someone did steal his wallet, so they didn't wanna come forward to be like, "Yeah, I stole his money," and then threw his wallet out the
Yeah.
window, and then he went missing, but it really wasn't them that did anything after that. They
Yeah.
don't wanna, like, put themselves in that situation,
Yeah.
but I don't know, it's
Weird.
weird, it's a weird one.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like, just a small window of time
Mhm, and then he was never
is
seen on
wild.
any surveillance, it is really weird.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It is crazy. It's crazy.
Just to show you how quickly something like that can happen.
I know.
Mhm.
Like, so quick.
That's the thing, like, and crazy that someone would target, like, a full grown man that, like, is not completely drunk like, yeah, not an easy target.
It's, like, usually a woman
Yeah.
by herself that
Mhm.
seems more likely a target. I don't know, yeah, that's what makes it so
I just
yeah,
wish I just wish that he had said in, like, the text, like, "Oh, I'm will you come with me to this place?" or
Yeah,
something,
I
yeah,
know.
not just like, "Meet me outside," like, no other but
yeah,
he was gonna call
yeah.
was trying to call him, but and I'm sure the friend feels bad that he missed the call, but
Yeah, for sure.
there's really only 3 scenarios, either he chose to disappear on his own, or he got lost, or foul play, and so it's like, clearly he didn't choose to do it, so that's out of the question.
Just like who it's just like that's such a stupid possibility when he didn't have a like he had no he just went with the stuff he had. Like I feel like if you can start a life, you bring something. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Some
you
kind
bring,
of
like, a change
clothing.
of clothes, like a bag with your stuff.
Yeah, at
Yeah, I
least.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
With the
so that's
clothes
not
on your
even a
back, that's
possibility to
it?
me
Like
at
Yeah,
all.
clear out your
Yeah,
bank account.
that's
Like, yeah, like, you still
yeah.
that I don't know, it's like you still need money and
maybe they're
clothes in your
thinking
life, like
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
only argument for that was it's very thin. It's like, "Oh, he took the money out of his wallet so he could have money, but then left everything
But
else
that's
behind." But, like,
Yeah.
it's
yeah, like
yeah,
I mean, the cash is
stupid.
gonna run eventually. Yeah, I don't know. Like, just
And why would he
so
yeah, it just seems like a really
strange.
random time to choose that, like, "Oh, in the middle of this ski weekend, I'm gonna
Yeah, minus 25
leave."
degrees. Yeah,
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 like
and he did
very
ask
weird.
his friend to come meet him, so, like
yeah,
right? Like, it wasn't like he was planning on being alone, he wanted his friends there, so, yeah, it's very weird. I feel like that is definitely not what happened.
weird. I don't know. It's a mystery. I can't
Yeah,
even.
very weird. It's very
Very
odd.
weird. Yeah,
Very weird.
and it's always so haunting when you have the last images of someone.
I
Like,
know.
I know that footage is great.
yeah, and then
And
he.
it's just also crazy too that, like, the 2 people that he was talking to can't remember where he was pointing, or, like, they don't remember the conversation because that would've been so
Yeah,
helpful too, maybe.
yeah.
Like,
Like,
where
why
was he
was he
pointing to?
pointing? Yeah, but like,
Like, why would he like? Because he called out to them, why he wouldn't call out to them and say, "Hey, I'm staying at this hotel." Like, no. Like, he clearly wanted
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
yeah, like he called them first. Maybe he's like, hey, do you know any of any parties? Or
Mhm.
I
Or,
don't
like,
know.
maybe he knew where like, I think that's what the family thinks is that, like, he knew the parties were at, like, the chalet that hill of
That's why he's
chalet, so he
point.
probably, like, was pointing, like, "Do you know if the chalets or whatever are this
Yeah,
way?"
are the chalets over here or something?
Yeah, or the condo, whatever they are,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know,
Hmm.
but they don't remember, like, what he asked. Nothing, it didn't stick out to them. But I guess it wouldn't. Whether it was
But
like he
what?
did ask and they just don't remember or he just didn't. But why was he pointing? He had to have been asking them. Like, why would he point?
But I just feel like that guy went missing. You saw him, and he was pointing somewhere. I wouldn't you remember? I don't know. Maybe I don't know. It's just I would love to know what he was pointing at.
And why, like, if he was pointing there, he didn't go that way.
He didn't go that way. Yeah,
Yeah. Like, he pointed towards the front entrance of the hotel, but then walked not that way.
yeah.
Well,
So
maybe it's like, "Are the
strange.
chalets this way?" And, like, people were like, "No." And so he's like, "Oh," and then he just went the other way.
Yeah,
Through
yeah.
the back laneway, through the past the
Yeah. I don't know. Ugh.
It's just it just frustrates. Like I want to know. I just need. It frustrates me. Like what was he? Where was he heading? Where was he pointing? I need like these things will never know.
we'll never
Probably
know.
it's
I
just like
know.
I just wish I knew.
We might know. I mean, it's only been a year. It's not I mean, it's still a long enough time, but, like, cases get solved many years
Yeah, it might.
later.
I mean, maybe he'll get found. Very weird.
Very weird. So I feel bad for the family too. Like, it's just, can you imagine someone just goes on a ski weekend and just,
Mm-hmm. I know.
it's crazy. And for the friends too, like, I feel bad for them too, because I'm
And
people,
it's always
not that
like,
people would blame them, but people are like, you were with him and
and
you
it,
left him at the bar.
yeah,
Like,
it's always like like I always say to myself, like I would have never left my friend on a vacation, and they I wanted to go home. They didn't. I'd suck it up and stay. But you only think that about for females, really. You don't think, "Why didn't you stay with your male
but
grown
also,
man?"
I think, I can't remember where I saw this, but also, it's not like they were in a foreign country. They were in Canada
Yeah.
still, 5-minute walk from the hotel. So it's like, I could see if you were like in like Mexico at like a local bar, that would
Yeah,
be
yeah,
kind of weird.
yeah.
Like, why would you leave your friend there? But like, they were, they felt safe. They were still in Canada.
Yeah.
Their hotel was a 5-minute walk away. I don't know. Not that I mean, I probably still wouldn't leave my friend, but also it's a little easier to know why you would
You
rather
just
than,
don't.
like, being
Yeah, yeah. You just never think it's actually gonna happen to you. Like, "Oh, he's fine, he'll make it. He can make it 5 minutes, like, to the hotel. I'm going to bed." Like, yeah, crazy.
crazy. Crazy. So anyone with information on the case is asked to contact the SQ at 1-800-659-4264. There's currently a $50,000 reward for information that could lead to Liam's whereabouts or information about what happened. So, yeah, that's the Liam Toman case. Very, very sad and God, yeah. Hope hope they find out what happened, but it's going to take somebody coming forward, I think. I don't think they're going to find they didn't find anything by this point. I don't know if they will,
I mean, if they
but
don't even know how where he left or how he left, I feel almost impossible that they're gonna find the people. Like, I don't think unless, yeah, like I said, unless someone does
yeah,
come
but
forward.
the family is, like, really pushing, they're saying, like, "Everyone who was there that weekend, check your dash cams, check your any photos you have." Like, you never know what photo you take or what video you take. There might be him in the background talking to someone, right? Like, you never know. So, anyone who was there that weekend, check your phones or your dash cams. Anyway, yeah, so that does it for the Liam Toman case. Obviously, we'll update you if anything comes of it, if we get new updates. Hopefully we do. We'll put in the show notes, we'll put the phone number and all the links to the Fifth Estate episode, which is really good resource. All the photos that I shared and the surveillance footage was from the Fifth Estate episode, by the way. So just giving shout out and citing my citing my sources. So that does it for this week's episode. If you are a fan of the show, you want to follow us, you can follow us at Crime Family Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. And you can also send us an email, crimefamilypodcast@gmail.com, if you have any case suggestions or feedback or theories on any of the cases that we've covered. You can also subscribe to us on YouTube. So just type in Crime Family Podcast on YouTube. You will find us. You can watch the video versions of the episodes on YouTube as well as on Spotify. So if you listen to us on Spotify, that's where you'll get your video version or YouTube. But if you're on Apple Podcasts, it's just the audio version there for now. But yeah, that's it for this week. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode. And until then, take care. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.